Okay, so I just thought I'd do a little bit of a video. We went out last weekend because Dan finally let us out, and we've got the Oztrack Tanami 15B, and we live on tank water where we are, and the wife was complaining that the water didn't taste very nice. Now, there was water straight out of our tank and in our tanks, and it was only really the second time or third time we'd used the van, but I did agree the water didn't taste very fresh and rainwatery like we thought. So I went out and bought a very small little water filter, which is a carbon impregnated cardboard filter, and I'm going to put it in under the seat, and I'll show you where in a second. I'll just do a flip around. So that is the filter that I'm talking about. It's only little, and all these fittings here. Got them from a little place in town called PK Equipment. They sell all sorts of cool stuff. Actually, it's almost like an eBay, really. They just have lots of little things that you wouldn't expect to find in other places, the filters, the machinery, all that sort of thing. So all up, the filter, it is a, as you can see, it's a PureTech, so it's not a dodgy, cheap one. It's got a little carbon filter inside it, which is meant to reduce odor, taste, all that sort of stuff, and filter out any heavy stuff as well. And all these little fittings that go with it. And I think all up it cost, the filter and the bracket and the canister inside was about $91. And these fittings and the hose were another $50. So it's not going to cost me a lot to put it in. So I'll take you inside and I'll show you where I'm actually going to put it, and then we'll start fitting it up. So this is the cupboard, or your little cupboard underneath the bench seat. We don't have the table fitted up in our van, as you can see, because it just takes up too much space and we don't really use it. So I'm going to put the little filter in the back over here. There's an extra panel on the wall here which I can use to screw to, which will be all right. I've already disconnected the one fitting here, which will work nicely, and I'll just be able to cut and clip other lines in as well. So hopefully I'm going to basically run this line, run an angle off here and straight into the filter, and off this bottom one, which is the outlet, I'll run an angle off there and straight into the other side of the filter. So the water going through will be filtered to every part of the van. And you might be sitting there thinking, well, it might restrict your flow, but it's a 9 litre per minute filter, which is pretty good. Most shower heads in houses are rated at 9 litres per minute, so we should get plenty of water. So the first thing I need to do on the bench is I've got these elbows. You can buy these fittings just with an already fitted 90 degree in them, so they'll just go straight into the filter and out at 90, but the PK didn't have them in stock, so I've just got a brass elbow and then these fittings. These fittings are pretty cool. You just press the ends in and that locks your hose in place. So for the start, I'll fit these up, bit of thread tape, and we'll go from there. So the first thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to apply, as you can see here, just a little bit of thread tape to the fitting. It's got a little bit on it, but to save the hassle of it leaking all through my van, which would be unfortunate, I'm just putting a little bit of thread tape on all my fittings, get it out of the way, just because that's what you do. These are probably tapered fittings anyway, which means they should seal, but I will seal them to save having a cupboard full of water over slow leaks. So I'll just pause this for a second. You can see what I'm doing. Always try and roll in the direction that you would do the up. So if if it's a right-handed thread, roll your tape as though you're doing this up. That way when you actually screw it in, if you do it the other way, it actually tends to unroll the tape and unroll the thread as you go, so it actually clears the tape off the thread. So just a bit of a tip, try and make sure that you apply your tape in the same direction as though you are doing the thread up. All right, I'm going to stop that, put these together, and then I'll start again. All right, so I've screwed them together. They are nice and firm and tight. Put plenty of tape in there, tape on the ends, which is good as well. Now I'm going to put them in my filter. My filter is going to go into the wall, well, like that, really. So for you, so I'm going to put these so they come out at an angle facing straight towards the pump. So hopefully they've supplied me with the right threads. It looks like they have. There we go, just in gently. It is a plastic thread, so we don't need to go ridiculous, just as long as it's all sealed up. And it is. And I'll stop it there at 90 degrees towards me. Same with this one on the outlet side, facing towards me. Now, that's got them facing both exactly how I want them to face. Now, you'll notice that these, on the ends of them, I don't know if you can see that, it has the measurement, so it tells me these are 12mm fittings. So it's important to make sure you know what size fittings they are before you put them together. So now, that is in essence ready to screw into the van. So that's our next step, to actually mount it to the wall of the van. We'll go from there. So I've brought it into the cupboard, and you can't probably see underneath, but there's a bracket right there, which is for, I'm not sure what, but it holds something in. It's sort of right in the way. So if I wanted to mount this in the center, which I originally did, I can't sort of do it. So I'm just going to mount it to the side, which should still give me plenty of room. It'll also give me clearance with the pipes. I'm going to have to put the video camera down for a second so I can put the screws in, and then once I've done that, I'll be able to fire things up again. So in 2 seconds, I'll just put some screws in, and then I'll light it back up. Right, so that's now in. It was a little bit of a pig to get the drill driver in spot, but it's sitting nicely in spot. So hopefully it should be a simple case now of very quickly and easily cutting a bit of tube and putting some connectors on, and we're laughing. So let's have a look at that. All right, so it has taken a little bit of trimming and cutting. I actually took this fitting out and removed this bit of hose because it was too long, and it's got little fittings in the end of it because the hose that Oztrack use is short or thinner than the stuff supplied. So I shortened this up, run my elbows through. So my inlet is done. Now I've just got to run my outlet, which means I'll no doubt pull this one out as well and just run an elbow through here. Got 2 elbows left, and that'll go from there out to here, down, and I'll drop it straight down onto that, and we'll be laughing. So all up, it's taken me 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most so far. So I'll keep going. The hardest part is cutting this tube, which as you can see is reasonably thick, but just cutting it with a Stanley knife at the moment, and it's working a treat. So I'll keep going and I'll show you in a second. All right, they are all fitted, clipped together, and that's it. It literally took me about 35 minutes. So I'll turn the pump on now and do a test and see if anything blows apart. So watch this space. Just turning it on now. So we can see the water's running, water's pouring out. It's not under any load yet. Turning water off. And I don't think I've got any water leaks. I don't know why my pump does that. It actually drives me nuts. That's all right. It's not leaking that I can see. I've obviously got to fix that pump. Tick, 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 tick. All right, that's it. My pressure switch on my filter is in. We now have filtered water in the van. It took all of 35 minutes. there you go. So if you want to do it, I'll put some photos of the stuff that I used in the video as well.